This is a story which was told by a Chassid, a Papa. There's Chassidic Papa. I think they're in Borough Park. I think Papa Chassidim, and it's from one of these. I think from Papa's from Hungary or something, Europe. Anyway, Poland. And one of these Chassidim, one of these Chassidic groups. And once he was sitting on a bus next to a Chabad fellow, and he struck up a conversation. And he said that he wants to tell a story, that it is because of Chabad that he is a religious Jew. And he explained how the person telling the story was in his 50s, maybe the 60s. Honorable looking, respectable looking, nice looking fellow, with the Hasidic garb, And so he said, so he tells a story. He said that he was brought up in a religious family. I don't know if they were Papa Hasidim from his family, but anyway, it was a religious family. And however it was, they were living in Hungary or Europe, wherever. And he got in with a bunch of fellows. He was an inquisitive young man and a lively young fellow. And he got in with the wrong group. He got in with the wrong group, and he got in with a group of non-religious Jews, and that morphed. It sort of spilled out until he got into a group of non-Jews, and he began to live just like them, but in a not in a crazy way, but just you don't have to keep Shabbos, and you don't have to put on tefillin, you don't have to keep kosher. And you discover that if you don't keep Shabbos, nothing really happens, nothing bad happens. You don't put on tefillin, you don't miss it. So that's it. He started living a normal, regular life like everybody else. And he went to university. He was very good at whatever he did. And he got accepted to the Sorbonne, what is it, in France. And there he was just like everybody else. He said one day, he was walking, and a fellow with a sort of a beard started walking on his side of the road, of the hall. He was walking down the hall, and one fellow veered from his side of the hall, and he faced him. And he looked at him, and he said to him, "Shalom." And he said back, "Shalom." So he said, "Oh, you're a Jew?" He said, "Yes." So, okay, he shook his hand. He said, "I'm also Jewish." And the next day, he stopped him in the hall again. He saw him in the hall a couple of days later, and he said, "Would you like to put on tefillin?" So he said, "Tefillin? No. Why should I put on tefillin?" He said, "To do it here?" He said, "No, if you want to, I'll come to your room. Where do you live? Where is your room?" And at first he said, "Listen, I'm not so interested in tefillin. Just tell me where you live." He said, "Okay." And this fellow, young fellow, and we're talking about this must have been in the 30s. Who knows? He would he would come to my room every day, and he would put tefillin on me. Until finally, I decided that I have my own tefillin. Next time I go visiting home, I'll go back home. I'll bring my own tefillin. I brought my own tefillin, and I started putting them on in in the Sorbonne. I would put them on every day, and little by little, I found some Jewish friends, and I found more, and I started keeping Shabbos, and eventually that made me into a religious person. I was very interesting, because I thought, who would really care, Years later, I became a religious Jew. I became a Papa Hasid, and I got I had a big question to ask the rabbis. I went to different rabbis and asked them, and someone told me that I should go to the Lubavitcher rabbi and ask him. So I said, well, that's a good idea. So I went to the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and I got, a private audience. This was probably like in the 50s already. And I went to the private audience, and when I came in, the Rebbe, I don't remember if he stood up. I don't remember. That's a part of the story. One second. I pull out the thing here. There we go. So he said, I went in, and the Rebbe said, hello, and he said my name. And I said, that this is a tremendous, Ruach HaKodesh. He knows my name. I didn't even say my name. He said, you remember me from I was in the Sorbonne. This was the man. This was the fellow, the Lubavitcher Rebbe. He learned for a short amount of time. He learned in the Sorbonne University. And when he was in the Sorbonne University, he was a religious Jew. They say that when Rebbe was in the Sorbonne University, that he used to wear a regular sort of a casquette hat. And under the casquette hat, he had a wig. He put a wig. That's what they say. He had a wig on because it's very anti-Semitic atmosphere in this. But he didn't not take off his kippah. He did according. I said it was the Lubavitcher Rebbe. The Lubavitcher Rebbe before he was a Rebbe. He was already there, and he already somehow or other picked me out that I was a Jew, and he was the one that brought me to woke up my Jewish soul. So we see that the Lubavitcher Rebbe, he did what he told everyone else to do. Have a good day with Mashiach. Now, God willing, tomorrow 8:15 sharp. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.